That's our new overlay, buddy. Let's go, Ramon. It is NFL Live Line pregame. We're going to cover the steam, see who the public and the sharps are on, which is, Ramon, first of all, good morning. Second of all, the books make a lot of money off the public, don't they? It's almost like every week I just see who the sharps are on, what the books need, and I smack myself because at the end of the day, I didn't back who the books would need, right? Like, there's no reason to blind bet that, but boy, there's something to it, ain't it, my friend?
Well, after what happened 2 weeks ago and kind of bringing it back down to earth, I think there last week, says right. I don't know. I think I wrote my own Twitter X bio. It says, quote unquote, I know who the sharps are on. That's anyway, but. Still, nonetheless, you see some of these public teams here this week, right? And you kind of wonder, is it the sharp money that's making the line move against some of these? Obviously, there's some public dogs out there. Certainly, like all of a sudden, we're all on Jameis Winston. We all think the Browns, this is their week against the Ravens here, or the team that's struggled so mightily. Are they going to all of a sudden find? I know we're talking about a spread that's 8 7. There's some 7.5s I saw out there in the last hour or so. So I don't know. Are these public dogs like the Browns here today, the Jaguars, or these some of the teams that really the squares out here like me? Maybe I am a
square. There's no way you're a square, Ramon. No way, bro. No way. There's no way, Ramon. By the way, it looks like you're doing that Vogue thing from Madonna 25, 30 years ago. Good job. Go ahead and Vogue, pal. Hey, here's who the sharps are on. Bills, Seahawks under. Falcons, Bucks under. Bears, Commanders over. Bucks plus 2.5. So a lot of Bucks out there today. And then as far as the public money, tons of public money on the Lions, minus 12.5. What could go wrong there, Ramon? Also, 8 games on DK where the bets are on the favorites. So the public is on Baltimore minus 8, Green Bay minus 3.5, Houston, the Jets, Buffalo, Kansas City, Pittsburgh. Can we talk about this Kansas City game first, my friend? And I know that it's not right off the top, but we got Kermit the Frog. I'm sure Mahomes is pissed off about that. The line just moved to 9.5 at FanDuel. We got 8.5 elsewhere around the business. So basically the Chiefs, well, they don't cover more at home, but they're not a great team at covering. It is Gardner Minshew starting. You got a pissed off Mahomes. At this point, is the public backing the Chiefs because of the narrative that Mahomes is pissed off of the Raiders?
Right. I guess the thinking was for Mahomes, he'll get his chance when he gets his chance, and here's his chance, I guess, here. But still, you got to lay these big points on the road. And if that's what the public is going to do, certainly, look, the Raiders obviously don't know what they're doing with Minshew here and O'Connell this time and whatnot. The Raiders, a disaster at this point. So I get it if the public is going to come in and, kind of roll here with this one. You kind of contradicted a little bit on some of those games where I said maybe it is sharp money on some of those teams, but can the Raiders here necessarily be sharp in this spot? Again, I mean, the Chiefs, a situation where they certainly been rolling the Raiders here of late. So I would think, look, if that situation, I don't know. I love a good storyline. In fact, we always try to make a narrative here, right? But still, when the Chiefs go out there, they're just right. They're unstoppable. So at this point, the Raiders aren't going to be necessarily in their way. It's just a matter of, can they get a big number like this? On the road, in division, whatever the Raiders are going to come up with a scheme. Yeah, okay, Max Crosby's not on the trade block. We're going to still build with this club moving forward. We know it's an overall mess here. I don't know if you can get Tom in there to kind of up for the Raiders here, at least front office wide, get some stability there, but still, Holden, man, Mahomes, it feels like just name a number here, but some of these big favorites, you mentioned it. I mean, really holding the public laying these big points here. The Ravens, the Chiefs.
What could go wrong?
We're setting ourselves up for disaster. the public here today.
It really is. They're getting set up to get bludgeoned. By the way, post your best bets in the chat. If you got any questions for us, go for it. But Ramon, we're here for Ramon. Maddie's here for Ramon. Riggs is here for Ramon. Marley's here for Ramon. They all love the Ramon. I love the Ramon. I'm glad you're here, Ramon. Let's get into this, buddy. It's always good to see you in chat during our other shows. I love seeing you in there. Cardinals, Dolphins. We got 46.5 around the industry. It came down maybe a point at a couple of books within the last couple of days. It stayed pretty consistent. 4.5s and 4s out there for the Dolphins today, who get Tua back. Tyreek's going to play. Talk to me here, buddy. What do we got with the movement here?
Yeah, so if anything, right, it feels like the sharps to me are the ones that kind of steam that total down a little bit, right? Because we knew, I think the signs were all there. It was just a matter of time before Tua was able to make his return here to the lineup. So, yeah, to me, with the move coming down to the under here, I kind of favor what the sharps are doing here in this one. We think of Tua, maybe the offense, they should be better, right? I mean, are they really going to be all of a sudden? How can these guys be a favorite now, holding over anybody? Tua doesn't make the needle move, in my opinion, as far as the point spread is concerned. But that has to be the indicator here as far as the public is concerned with the Dolphins today. It feels a little icky again. Another public side, it feels like, with the Dolphins here in this one. I've seen handicappers also pretty much rolling about a 2-to-1 ratio on the Dolphins here, but I don't know. I'm kind of favoring the under still. I think the sharps, if the total's kind of moved slightly lower here, like we've seen right now, that to me is an indicator of sharper money that's coming in. Here, right on the total. I'm showing right now still 70, nearly 3 out of every 4 tickets on the over, and the money as well on the over. Yet the total here has moved from opener of maybe 48 and a half down to 46. So those are usually sides that I'm on, those sharper sides where, public tickets and money heading over, and I'll probably be willing to take a shot at the under here at 46. We think of Murray, but again, the offense doesn't ever seem to get going for Arizona right now until mop-up time, if you will, with Kyler. So we'll see about if the offense for Miami, they got to be a little bit better, obviously, with Tua in there. So, but still, you got to lay more than a touchdown. I show Bovada just moved to 5.5, holding within the last 10 or 15.
So the Ravens and the Browns, we'll get to that in a second. Like button would be great. Good morning, everybody. A lot of subscribers out there getting ready for today's games. I'm excited about today's games. Ramon, my woman's been out of town for about a week, though, so I'm a little bit cranky right now. You know what I'm saying? I'm just cranky this morning.
Well,
I got to get her home.
Yeah, well, we got new to town Matty in the chat. Maybe you guys can hang out a little bit.
No. There's no hangout for me. I'm just in shambles over here. All right, let's get to our next game. Like button would be great. Yeah, subscribe to our YouTube channel, Nuke the House YouTube channel. Turn on your notifications. The boys will be live. We're doing everything behind the paywall this weekend. Today's shows that are usually behind the paywall, Sunday Night Football behind the paywall, Monday Night Football behind the paywall. Everybody just got too many free shows. You can sign up if you want to at nukethehouse.com, $59.99 or $599.99. Next game, we've got the Ravens and the Browns. There's 2 guys I really tail consistently, Keg and my guy Chris Raybon, who actually we did the first ever FanDuel Fantasy Football podcast. Now he's deep into betting, just like I am. Super sharp guy. Recommended we get on the Browns at 10 on the open. We got in there. This thing has had a massive shift toward Cleveland, and now you've got the public buying in on the Ravens that it's fallen. 7.5 is the number. You can actually get a 7 at BetMGM. 44.5 is the total. That actually dropped this morning on MGM from 45.5. Ramon, what are you seeing here with the Ravens and the Browns?
I mean, Holden, this one just is the total, public versus sharps type of scenario, right? I mean, you've got for the Baltimore Ravens coming in. I mean, certainly 4 out of every 5 tickets right now, it looks like, on Baltimore. You got an overwhelming amount of money as well. Yeah, you see that move. You mentioned it. I mentioned it too. I was saying from 8 to 7.5. And yes, you're starting to see those 7s out there. So who it is coming in on the Browns here, Holden? You said the Ravens. We're the public side. All these Sharpies are going to come in here, see a lot of services giving out the Browns and everything. I feel like I should be on the Browns. Like I should be following along with the sharp side here a little bit and figure that the experts, these big money bettors, are the ones that are moving that line. And what do the books end up needing in a scenario like this when you've got small money on the Ravens and big money on the Browns, is what it certainly seems like here with Jameis Winston today.
Yeah.
I think there's a little bit of sentiment here that, Jameis is certainly going to be a I don't know, good replacement, a decent replacement here for the Browns, but still it's Jameis Winston, man. I mean, really, when has he really heated up in his career? Just a couple of times, and we know him more for the W and for throwing the picks a little bit here. So I guess I'm feeling like I'm sharp. I'm maybe coming in with the Browns here in this one, Holden. I think the value's out the window. People always say, it's such a easily thrown around term, Holden, value, right? I don't think there's any value here on Cleveland. The value was, like you said, with Ramon talking about it when it was 10. There's no value left in this one. The value side is the Ravens, and the public's going to get in on that value here, it feels like today. But I want to come in on the Browns. Maybe this is the opportunity that they needed. Obviously, they have a great rivalry with Baltimore, but Baltimore's still been doing a number on them here for the last several meetings here moving forward. So we'll see, but that is an awful lot of square money there for sure on Baltimore. But the Sharps have to be all over Cleveland, and that's evidenced by the line move.
By the way, Jameis Winston interception pre-flop, you got to be crazy to bet at pre-flop, minus 224. Think about that for a second. So we'll probably see a Jameis pick or two today. Packers, Jags, Ramon. We got a 49 total here, 48.5, 49, and it's the Packers minus 3.5. We are on Jordan Love passing yards to the over here, but this thing, that prop is probably dead. It got steamed way too much. So if you want to bet a side here, Packers at the Jags, 3.5. Ooh, they added that hook for us. But the Jaguars are a bad football team. This could be the last game for Doug Peterson again. What do we got here with the Packers and the Jaguars?
Oh, you mean he made it back? He
did.
He made the plane flight.
He did.
Okay. Well, yeah. I mean, Jordan Love, we actually tried to cast him aside there for a brief spell, and all of a sudden he's come back to look like, one of the best quarterbacks going. And for Trevor Lawrence, we'll see if he can ever get back to that form that kind of helped Jacksonville. That was their peak, Holden, when they played that game against the Chiefs. And ever since then, it doesn't feel like we're able to make a return back. But again, you got 4 out of every 5 tickets on the Packers. It seems like a recording. I could have mailed this one into you a little bit here, or the home dog, Jacksonville, but not for me this time. I think I'd rather take my chances with this favorite. If it is sharp here, and again, with the Packers here on the road, you mentioned that hook, and there were some 4s out there in the opener. So I guess subtly the move here is to Jacksonville again, and maybe it is sharp, no doubt, because I'm seeing 4 out of, like I said, 4 out of every 5 tickets on Green Bay. To be fair, maybe the money is a little bit less, maybe 60-40 with the spread there, Holden, on the Packers here today. I'll probably roll them a little bit with the Packers in this one. And that total pretty high for a couple of teams. Well, I'd say for Jacksonville mostly, 49 here, up from 48. I saw some books open a little lower than that. Tickets are running right now 7 out of every 10 tickets on the over. As far as the total is concerned, I got to think it's going under.
All right, this is the game I'm interested in hearing from you about. We've got this Falcons-Bucks game, and we've been saying how the line has moved. I mean, you talk about a line move, dude. It was sitting at 2.5, went to 1.5, 2.5 this morning, and now it's sitting at 1.5 again. So all the money's coming in on the Buccaneers. moving this line down. And again, the sharps are on the Bucks coming into this thing. So that tells you just about everything you need to know about where the money's coming in, Ramon.
Yeah, and again, seems like the public here is still rolling a little bit to me on the Falcons, but I'm seeing those, those high level services. I don't even call them services. It feels like syndicate money a little bit here on the Bucks. Seems like it's been getting sent out. I'm seeing my Telegram I follow some of those Telegram channels, Holden, when they send out all those syndicate plays out there that all those wise guys are on. And it seems like they want to play the Buccaneers here in this one. Really heartbreaking what happened to Godwin, certainly. And I guess we can only find these guys for their hip drop tackles. They're not catching it in real time, certainly. But with no Mike Evans, what are they really banking on here? It better be the run game when it comes to the Falcons with your man Bucky. I guess he gets.
No, we don't want Bucky today. We want Rachaad White and Sean Tucker in the passing game.
It does seem like Bucky did have the injury tag, but they could run all three guys out there. I mean, the Falcons should be very susceptible in this situation. I'm going to probably look for this one to go over myself with the line what it is right now at 47.5. Saw some openers out there a little bit higher. So I'm Mr. Under usually, Holden, but this one caught my eye to go over here with Atlanta and Tampa Bay. They've had some overs between these two, and it's so public, though. Feels like 4 out of every 5 tickets are on the over here as far as the line services sending out the percentages right now. This one isn't as strong of a public side with Tampa Bay here today, but you mentioned it, and that move coming in, I'm showing even Bovada down to -1 here right now for Atlanta. So I'm worried about the Bucks and that passing game. If they can get the run together, I think they will be just fine because they should have that advantage. It looks like the biggest departmental advantage on the field is the Bucks running game against Atlanta here, but they need to make it work in order to get the win because Atlanta is going to be firing for sure with Cousins, it feels like, against this defense. Yeah, for Bijan, he could establish the run, but I don't know if that's the direction you necessarily can go if you're Atlanta in this game, especially if they were to fall behind. So I'm still going to go over here probably as my play, but I'm concerned a little bit about this Tampa Bay situation with those skill players out. Otten obviously is a very underrated tight end. I think everybody, kind of respects what he does. And Maddie's got it right there. Look, he's got Otten as a big-time prop.
We got Otten. We're on a lot of the secondary guys with the Evans and the Godwin.
Otten is in a great position here today. Yeah. I think he will get utilized quite heavily.
All right. Yep. Christopher, that's what we're talking about. Public sees the Bucks down to their 2 best receivers. I mean, that's what's looking at. That's why we're looking at this line move.
Baker can make anything work, Holden. It's just a matter of those guys are so impactful. We saw immediately what was going on in that game, especially once Evans went out. It did feel like the air was out of the bag.
All right, smash the like button. That'd be great. Make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel, Nuke the House. Turn on your notifications. Again, this will be a premium weekend. We gave away so much free money. I mean, Keg's on another heater, and we just did free shows all week. So you know what? For the members that had to suffer through this and the people that couldn't sign up and now they can, it's for you. This weekend is for you. Colts, Texans, here we go again. By the way, Jonathan Taylor just eats against the Texans historically. 4.5 is the line. The Texans 4.5 at home. Texans play better football at home. 44.5, 45. I'm even seeing a 45.5 out there. Let's do this one pretty quickly. Anything coming in with the Texans and the Colts?
For sure, Holden. I think we have seen some action here with these two. I don't know if the Sharps are necessarily piling in this one, but with the lineup 4.5, 5 right now with Houston, that feels a little public-y. 3/4 of the tickets appear to be on the Texans here in this one. You mentioned the return of Taylor. Imagine the Colts kind of doing what they're doing right now in Taylor's missed time of the best spread team here the league right now, getting points again. Everyone wants to make fun of Richardson, but man, he's got a certain quality about him. Throw in some running game here, and the Colts are the biggest sleeper, it feels like, in the league right now, being overlooked by people. Again, just take a look at that 6-1 spread record. It feels like to me, and if they get a running game, yeah, I think this one is a little bit high on that total. 4 out of every 5 tickets are on the over. Good luck to them. I probably got to think under the Colts. If they can get the running game going here today, this one is going to be a real battle. This one is probably going to come down to the wire, it feels like, Holden. So I think the points are going to be worth something.
Shout out to Money Lines for stopping by. Good to see you, Money Lines, in the house. Titans, Lions, again, the biggest position here for the books is the Titans covering this thing. Why? Because the public is smashing the Lions at 12.5 in Detroit. Entirely possible that they cover this thing. 13 at Sugar House if you want to back the Titans here. 45.5 is the total. This got bet up a little bit at a couple books from 44.5. Again, public money, but you got to back Mason Rudolph and the Titans. This is just a fade for me. Stay away.
Yeah, I mean, real tough, right, to lay a dozen or more. 12.5 now at 13. Yeah, boy, it's going through the roof. So only beware of the back door, it feels like. I think they can get out to the lead and maybe hold on to it. It's just a matter of the Lions are certainly a team that does not play well from in front, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
So I think that's the worry there. I'd probably still want to try these Lions despite the public here. Almost 9 out of every 10 tickets are willing to lay the points. This is probably, teaser city to get it under a touchdown here for sure. In this one, I figure the Lions really, with going up against Mason Rudolph, I'm going to be on the under here. It feels like Holden in this one, that thing's gone down a point from 46.5 to 45.5 based on some widely reported steam that came in this week. But still, public tickets are running probably 17 of every 20 on the over here. These public percentages are very, very strong today. The books are going to cross their fingers and hope they don't get into a disaster like 2 weeks ago, but I have a feeling they'll be ordering pizza and champagne by 30 Eastern. Yeah.
Oh boy, I am so excited about this slate. The one game everybody keeps telling me we got so much invested in the Bucks and the Falcons. They're like, don't watch it. I'm like, come on, man, that's where all our money is this week. We got to go watch that game. But we're not talking about that one. We've got the Jets 7 point. How do we back the Jets at 7? 41 is the total here in New England. Jets, Patriots. The good news is we don't have to back them at 7. If you listen to Keg 9 weeks ago, he gave us a look ahead line, Jets -4.5. We'll see if they cover. But again, a lot of public money coming in on the Jets today, Ramon. I don't care about the total here. It looks pretty low, but a lot of money coming in on the Jets. What could go wrong?
Yeah, the Sharps haven't been. The Sharps are. I think there are. I think the Sharps are still willing to take the Pats here. Now, they haven't been able to move the line a little bit like they did in some of these games, creating some value for the public on these square sides. So maybe they're not on it as hard as I thought. But I did see, the syndicates, the Telegram channels were lighting up with the Patriots yesterday, as a matter of fact. So I don't know. I think the Sharps might be onto something here with the Pats. I know, hey, Devontae's there. Devontae comes in. How'd you like it if you got a new employee coming to your work, Holden, and then all of a sudden he wants to give you the pep talk like you guys have been doing things all wrong, and here I am, getting in your face telling you what you need to do to be a winning player, and I just came from the quote-unquote losingest franchise around right now with the Raiders. So I don't know if all this hullabaloo with the Jets is really anything right now. They have a long way to go, and if they want to cover a touchdown against anybody, I think it would take an out of this world performance. I think the Sharps here are going to be on Pittsburgh. You mentioned those public totals, and the theme is the same, Holden. I'm not saying you're not earning your keep here, but yeah, 3/4 of the tickets on the Jets. It looks pretty obvious here for the public again, and the books will be, waving their Patriot flag here in this one, it feels like, but I think I'm going to try with the sharps here, Holden, and try to take these points. It's gross when you're on these sorry teams like the Jets, but the Jets they've impressed no one. Let's face it.
Again, all of our shows today, tomorrow night, premium for NFL. So if you want to get on board and Tail Kegs Heater, you got to be a member. NukeTheHouse.com, $59.99 a month, $599.99 for the year. That's the best value. You save $120. If you want to just dip your toe in the water, $19.99 for the week. I don't know how it's going to help you.
And doing so much, doing that great work, the in game. I mean, this is, Holden, it's funny because it's hard to explain to someone. I'll let you continue. We're almost done. But, to explain to someone that, hey, I'm on this side, I'm on this total. If you sat here with me privately, Holden, half the games by the end of the game, I've got money on both. We're trying to hit a window a lot of times.
Are you middling a lot?
Any opportunity, that presents itself, certainly. I mean, look, the one thing that's so underrated about middles, right, is basically you're always playing for a $200 return on a 5% investment a lot of times. So that's so key. I know it's hard sometimes to ditch your side, especially if you're ahead and you're a genius, right? But sometimes those opportunities, this is the NFL, Holden. It doesn't matter how good your team is. That other team sometimes finds a way there. Just like I always say to you, we know it's totally predictable. It's just a matter of landing on the right side.
All right. Tom Brady on the call for our next game, Ramon. It must be a big one. The sharps are all under the Bills Seahawks. All the sharps seem to be on the under in this game. So we got Josh Allen going out to Seattle. People are worried about the rain. Gino, not as good in the rain. If he's not, it's too bad because he plays in Seattle. He might as well get used to it. But the total, this thing came down. 47 earlier in the week, 46 yesterday, 45, 44.5 today. Bills 3-point favorites. That has not moved whatsoever, at least where I'm seeing it. You tell me, sharps are on the under in this one.
For sure, right? And I don't know, if anything, maybe for squares like me, quote unquote, maybe it has given some value. I don't know. Still should be okay. I feel like for Gino with those targets that he has and the way Josh Allen is cooking at an MVP rate right now. I know we got some other guys looking good out here, but gosh, Allen, if they can just get on a roll here a little bit with this chemistry of the receivers that he has, I love that he doesn't have a superstar. It feels like right now in his receiving core a little bit, but I'm showing 2/3 of the tickets right now on the Bills in this one. Another road favorite here. You mentioned, I love what you're saying. What could go wrong here? Look, on my show today, Holden, my chat was all over the Seahawks in this one. They love a good home dog, but man, Gino puts up numbers, so I'm not going to fret about a little precipitation. You better learn your elements there in Seattle. I think this one feels like fireworks to me. So I thought it was value, and they pushed that one under and call me square again. But more than 4 out of every 5 tickets are coming in on the over here in this one, but just 2/3 of the money. So surely a little bit of sharp action in there, maybe 15 or 20%. I don't know if you pay it. That's kind of the way I like to look at those, right? Tickets compared to money, because people are always complaining or saying you don't trust those. What I do, Holden, is I kind of combine the line services together. The numbers aren't fake. That's the one thing, right? They always say, they're just throwing a bunch of info out there. Well, there's a couple of companies that kind of accumulate data and then share that data with other books. They all cooperate with one another because they want to know what's going on. You can't call up every book, right? So you can trust the numbers for the most part. Just try to go with those services that have a wide sample and aren't just using one book. That's the key, right? Because one book is going to throw you off, but if you can get a collaboration of books, if you will, I think that's key. So I don't know. I feel a little bit square in this one. I agree with you, Holden. The move has been to the under. I think the sharps are kind of favoring the under, but I don't know. I feel like an afternoon game here. I'm on like 9 unders today, Holden. I'm going over at this one.
All right, let's get out of here, buddy. Just everybody keep an eye on Jaden Daniels. could play against the Bears. The line is saying that he is going to play. Ramon, where do they find all your stuff, buddy?
Yeah, Holden, I'm at Ramon Scott Media on X. You see it there, and right below it, The Morning Steam. That's my show. Every day I break down the sports betting card and make a pick on every game, but really I try to go over all the lines and everything over at Sports Money Network. We're a budding new channel. I left a 45,000 subscriber channel to join a group of guys that's kind of getting their own thing, and I think I made the right call. I'm feeling great about it, and love the brought my whole audience over. So it really felt good that they all followed me over there. It renewed my hopes for a great year here with the guys. So appreciate you, Keg, having me. Maddie also. I see Maddie in the chat. I watched Tyler and Spread this week too, my guys. So I love the crew here at Nuke the House.
All right, I'm throwing up the overlay, buddy. We're out of here. Ramon, as always, you're a total stud. Thank you for hanging out with us once again on this Sunday, checking out the late steam. I'm going to go sweat the Bucks bets that we have right now. Sign up, nukethehouse.com. Subscribe, $59.99 a month, $5.99 a year. Let's go nuke the house.